Have you ever thought of being an inventor and really making a change from something that you witness from your daily work routine to make it for the better? Well, this is exactly what my guests today have been doing, and we will hear all about it in our 11th Digital Health Talk, Hannover. Welcome and good morning. Thank you that you all joined in again for this international talk where we're also reaching out to our audience from abroad. My name is Cornelia Körber, and I'm Project Director at hannoverimpuls. This is the economic development agency of Hannover and the region. My two guests today are Assistant Professor Sanjay Weber-Spickchen, and he is not only medical doctor and surgeon, he is also the inventor, founder, CEO of Genosport, the company that is offering a revolution in knee rehabilitation. And not as such, he is also the team doctor of our Olympic gymnasts, and he's been to Tokyo in 2021. With him, we also have his former doctoral student, who's now medical doctor at the Charité at the urologist department, Matthias Schulz. And he can give us his insight from what his role and tasks were during the development of Genosport. Warm welcome to both of you. Great that you're here.
Thank you.
Hello.
Sanjay, I heard from before, being an inventor was actually not the plan from the beginning. So what happened that you started with Genosport?
Yeah, in my beginning, I recognized that we very often have the same problems after knee surgery. So every day I had to talk with the patients to train the activation of the muscles directly after knee surgery. And so I thought about how could we help the patients to motivate for training, for exercises to do by their own. Up to that point, normally they did exercises with a bottle under the knees or with a towel under the knee, and then they had to press downwards their knee. And that is a very simple form of doing muscle activation. And of course, when you explain the very simple exercise to the patients, then some maybe do not understand the exercise, or after 1 or 2 days, you ask them, how about your training? And then they say, yeah, I did it, but nobody knows if they are doing the training, or because the training is a kind of a black box. And so I thought about what can we do to help them. And then in the beginning, we started with a sphygmomanometer device you use for the blood pressure measurement. You have everywhere on the ward, and we put it downwards, and then we have a very simple form of a biofeedback. And it was still the problem. A lot of patients did it, but yeah, we did not know how often they did, how powerful the training was. And so I thought about a digital solution, and I wanted a solution that is very smart, and we have a automatically data saving, and every patient is able to do it. And on the other hand, of course, we are surgeons. We do not want to have a risk that the result of our operation can be influenced or badly influenced. So it should be very secure. And yeah, that was the first steps of the idea and the development of Genosport. Yeah.
And if I want to imagine this now plastically, luckily my knee is working quite all right at the moment, but of course there are also many people suffering from injuries coming after accidents to you. How does the Geno trainer work? So if I'm one of your patients, how can I picture the usage of Genosport?
Maybe Matthias, you like to explain. You did a lot of invention about this. Maybe you can explain.
Well, okay. So the patients are in bed after surgery and they don't want to move a lot. So the idea of the Genosport trainer is to put a box under their knee so that they can perform training while they are in bed, while they are still immobile. And they use an app to control the training and get feedback, in a way, biofeedback. And the box under their knee measures the strength they use to push the knee down. And they get the direct feedback to the tablet and have a sort of game for them to do the training. So they have the strength training, the tablet with feedback, and the game. And
what does the game actually look like? I think that's quite an important factor.
Sure.
What would I need to do?
It's you use your strength to control the game, and in the game you direct an airplane through the sky. It's a two-dimensional game, and you need to hit certain spots to get points. And so the aim for the patient is to use the strength to get points, and it's a motivation for them to get a high score, to get a new high score, to get even better, and see the progress that they do after surgery.
And this process was nothing that happened overnight. I know now that already, as we said with the introduction, that your time as a doctoral student is already also some years ago. When was the time that you were with Genusport and writing your thesis?
It was in the middle of my studies when I was really interested in trauma surgery, orthopedic surgery, and I got to know Sanjay, and he informed me about his idea that he wants to do more research about it, that it has been proven to be working already. And I've always been interested in digital innovation and bringing to practice things that are not yet used in the clinic. And that's how we got together and started the research.
Sanjay, how important was it for you to find doctoral students to support you with data collection during that time?
Of course, it's very important, because otherwise we will not improve. And at the universities, there are many doctors who have ideas, and then it's a part of our daily work to think about problems and to try to solve problems. And it's a lot of work, hard work, and it's for our surgical doctors, of course, not possible to do all the data collections and analysis all the day. And on the other hand, it's very important if you are a student to learn from your the German word is Dr. Vater, I don't know, how to do research and how to have a very close look at the scientific details of one very special topic. And so it is very important. And of course, with the results, you can also produce the next ideas for the next students. So all in our project, we had 4. And all the 4 had little different goals of their scientific work. So it's very important here.
And Matthias, I know that you met Sanjay at the MHH, so the Medical School of Hannover, but then actually you performed your research at the Charité, which is the clinic in Berlin. I think everyone knows that you're still working at. Why didn't you stay at the MHH, and how did that transfer work to the Charité?
I think in research, it's always important to be multicentrical, have as many inputs as possible from different sources. And since we both had the connection to the Charité, it was kind of obvious to involve a different clinic, also with a lot of research going on there, and have different surgeons, different patients, different input to get the most out of it.
And I think it's also very important not to do everything at your own hospital, because then you could think about maybe there's a bias. So if you do it at another university clinic, it's a little more independent. Of course, we have our scientific frame to do independent work, but when you do it at another center, everybody knows that it is not influenced by a bias like this. On the other hand, it's of course not very easy, or we can say difficult, because for the student it's not so easy to be at another center and you have another team there. And on the other hand, we also had some difficulties. For example, my opinion would be to do the research with maybe 100 patients, or with a follow-up of maybe half a year or 1 year. But it was not allowed to do such a long follow-up or with such so many patients. So it was a little difficult, because at that time it was not a medical product. And so with not certified medical products, normally you are only allowed to do it at your university. And so we had the trick that Matthias was student of the medical school, Hannover Medical School, and the project was at the charity. But yeah, I think it was a good idea to do it like this.
And then unfortunately we lost Matthias from Hannover, but maybe he comes visiting once in a while. Matthias, now that Sanjay was explaining the importance that you were in Berlin, and also that there are different doctoral students at the same time, is this a period whilst you were in Berlin where you were majorly focused on your research, on collecting the data, on doing the study, or were you also member of the team and part of the company building that Sanjay did as well?
Well, so the focus was definitely on the research. I was like full-time in Berlin, 8 hours in the clinic a day, because I had to spend time with the patients. I had to train them, teach them, and do the data gathering. But we were in close contact, and I was also part of the team of the clinic in Berlin at the Charité. So it was like interdisciplinary, I'd say, like weekly contact to Sanjay, and I had like a supervisor in Berlin as well. So it was like teamwork in a way.
Sanjay, if we look into this whole product development process, or we could also say company building as such, it's been quite a long time. Please help me with the date, because I'm not quite sure. Was it 2004 that you initially started?
Yeah, it's pretty long ago. Where I had the first idea, I think it was 2007, maybe, I don't know. I did the first steps, and
what were the major steps, like 2007 to 2022? That is a pretty big time. Did you have like some big milestones where you said that was really important, or that was something where we had to do something completely new?
I think yeah, between 2010 and 12 it was like try and error. So we developed for half a year or a year, and then we recognized, oh, data collecting or the digital process is not going like I want to, and then we start again and again. And then in 2013 I think it was the first prototype. It was like it is now. Of course, we did some development with the app and improvement and all this, but since 2013, the trainer and the app is nearly the same. And then with this project, I started at the MHH to do some scientific work with this. And of course, after every scientific approach, after every trial, we recognized, oh, there's a high potential in this idea. And so then I had the first talks at international congresses, and some of the very prominent colleagues came to me and said, oh, great idea, keep on to do more research. And then stepwise, we did the next approaches, and then the next very important point was then, I think it was 2016, or yeah, we had the help of hannoverimpuls, and we won a contest, and it was 20.
We're the Startup Impulse winner.
Yeah, we were the Startup Impulse winner, and then not only 20,000 euros. Of course, it's a lot, but for this project, it's a little piece, but very important was the network. So we had help with some experts, because of course I am a medical doctor, and I never thought about doing invention or knew nothing about medical products and all this. And so the help was very, very important. And then the next very important step was then to be a certified medical product. And that was, I think, 2019 or 2020 or something. So the first steps were just from the medical view and scientific view.
So from 2007 to today, we heard a lot of important steps, congresses talking, I think in the old medical part that you said, in the old medical field, but then getting network, reaching out, and then the administrative process for filing as medical device. If we have now listeners with us today who actually are in need of a new innovative knee rehabilitation program, would they have to come to you, to your clinic, or is this available somewhere else? What is the status quo right now?
Yeah, the status quo is that if you're interested, you can write email to us. And right now we have a partnership with Spolastic. So they have the network and all the workers. They can come to your clinic and explain the things to you. So if you're interested, you can just write email to us, and then we can arrange it.
The contact slide is coming up later, but that's already a very important information here, because it might help someone. That we are talking about product development also from the side that this is something special, that also doctors are doing this during their medical work routines, and that it's not big companies or startups doing it from a different angle. Matthias, from your perspective as also a younger doctor in the field, how relevant and how important is it from your point of view that innovation starts from within the clinic?
I think it's super important. From my feeling, we're lacking behind like a few decades if we compare clinical work to everyday life. I feel that clinics, or like especially German clinics, are lacking behind in digital innovation, like big way. We still use faxes to report stuff, so it's like very old-fashioned in some ways. And even the operating room is pretty analog so far. And if you look into different fields like engineering, there's so much further. And like virtual reality on our phones, it's everywhere, just not in the clinics yet. So the doctors are those who see the need every day, like Sanjay did, and the patients will directly benefit from it. So what we need is kind of like implementing what we already have into the clinic in a way. It's not even just new inventions, but like using it in the clinic.
Sanjay, we heard that your process was also, even though very much needed, that we hear now, not easy at all times. If there is something that you could wish for, what are changes that you would like to see to make that process easier and faster, and maybe also accessible to more doctors like you?
Yeah, I think one important point is that over the last maybe 30, 40 years as a knee surgeon, we thought a lot about surgical technique, or use this screw or this plate and so on. And I think it's new in our field to think about what can the patient do to improve his rehabilitation. And a great difference is, from my opinion, that because we talked about the license to be a medical product and all this, it's very hard. And so the products, the new medical products, are all from the industry. And in many products, it's a question, is it really a benefit? And of course, the development is together with the doctors. And that was also one idea of us, to do the development by ourselves. Then because of the scientific work, for example, the output of Matthias, we can decide by us just to change the app a little bit or change the program or what. And so it is the relationship to the need of the patient is very close. And I think it's important to motivate also the next generation or of our students to recognize problems, to have ideas, and then to try to solve them and not to give up or say, oh yeah, that's too difficult, to give them the network and the help to realize their ideas. I think that's very important. And I have medical students, still medical students from the Hannover Medical School, and I think the next generation, they are 20, 21, 22, 23 years old, and for them it's absolutely normal when I introduce a knee trainer. For them it's like, yeah, what's special about it? It's just normal for them. And when I talk with my colleagues in my age or older, then for the, oh, it's digital. So I think we have to, like Matthias said, we have to go with the time. And of course, I absolutely agree. In the medical field, we are maybe 20 or 30 years behind. So we are still in the 90s. No?
So what I'm taking away is that one of the big hurdles you were saying is the MDR regulation and filing as a medical device. So this is where a lot of help is needed, where also a lot of time was lost. Matthias is maybe well, talking about generations is always a little tricky, but as we know, he's not the 20-year-old student at the medical university clinic, but I think you're also presenting a field of new doctors entering their career path. What would motivate you to be an inventor on the side, which obviously is a lot of work on top?
I think my everyday work is already motivation enough. Like, we spend so much time on documentation and like computer work. Digitalization can help a lot with that. Like, it can make,
or if I frame it differently, what
so
is there something in special that you would wish for to make that easier?